All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back for another post-fight analysis video. Okay, y'all, Holm versus Ketlen Vieira. Okay, so very close fight, very competitive fight. Let me go ahead and get that out the way. I'm not going to say robbery this time around. Do I think Holm won the fight? Yes. But do I also think that the fight was close and competitive? Yes. Could I see Ketlen Vieira getting the victory off of this performance from both fighters? Yes. I do, because it all goes back to what I usually say here. You have four opponents. You have the person in the cage with you, and then you have the three judges, right? You have to have a style. You have to have a game plan that beats everybody, that convinces everybody that you're the winner. If you know that you're not going to get a submission, or if you know you're not going to knock that fighter out. And I think both of these fighters, they just kind of fought with their styles that you know them for. But neither one really ever leveled up. It was kind of tit for tat in the stand up. It was either you were either going for Holm's volume or Ketlen Vieira's heavier single shots or doubles, right? So it's all in what you're looking at there. Now, I gave Holm the fight because I thought she was winning some of those striking range battles, the stand-up battles, but I also thought she did enough clinch work, to take a few rounds. But like I said, there were too many moments in there where Holly let Ketlen Vieira get off on her. Vieira did get off some heavy shots, and I think when it came down to the closing round, there was some more heavy effective blows landed from Vieira. And when I saw that fifth round close out, I didn't feel confident in Holm winning that fight. Like, I thought she won, like I said, going by how I was scoring it. But when that round closed out, I said, Holly might have lost this fight. I was already like, Holly might have lost this fight. I knew it was going to be split. But when I saw the end of that fifth round, I was like, yeah, she probably lost this one. Because let's be real, like, Holly didn't really look like Holly. She is 40 now. But I know age ain't nothing but a number in this game. But her 40 is an older 40. Let's be real. She's got a lot of wear and tear. She's been fighting for years. This is the longest break she's had in her combat sports career, including boxing, right? And I've already talked about this in the live stream too, just the fact that Holly looks good on the outside, but you never know how the inside is, the brain, the actual, joints, the reflexes, and all of that kind of showed in this fight. I think Holm was kind of a shadow of her former self, even how she was pushing these punches. Now, she was kind of doing the same things that she used to, but a lot of her shots were off. Like, her volume, it was good she was throwing volume because something would land. The biggest things to me that were landing, that were effective, were her push kicks and side kicks. But even, like, some of her left hands, they weren't on the money. Like, her elbows that were landing were usually the ones in close quarters, but she wasn't able to set up any good time straight strikes. So, like, a lot of them just seemed kind of off accuracy to me. Like, Ketlen Vieira, I think she was landing the better shots. Like, when they were in the, at a mid-range, like, she was landing hard right hands and left hooks on Holly. Like, she started using her timing to counter and a couple good uppercuts, Now, if Ketlen connected more with uppercuts and committed to uppercut more, she probably could have stopped Holly, but she continued to let Holly use her strength and just really press her to the cage and get that head control and just land effective strikes and just keep her pinned up, So she did that a few times, so I said I had to give her the edge. I mean, if we go back and look at the fight real quick, round one, I thought was close. It started off close, but I gave it to Holm because, there was a lot of clinch and pressure from Holly here, just keeping Vieira pinned up. Both were landing a little bit on the inside, but I had to give it to Holly because she was in the controlling position. She was using head control and landing knees and, land those knees to the thigh and just keeping Vieira pinned up here. Second round, I gave to Vieira because, they both were landing singles at range, but I think, Vieira, she was landing the harder shots, and then she did get a good judo toss on Holm. Holm bounced back up, but, Holly tried for her own takedown, but Vieira, she was able to keep it standing, and she defended that takedown well. She almost got a standing choke, too. Like, I got to give Holly credit the way she was able to turn Vieira's shoulder so she could get out of it because, like, as soon as she started getting that choke on her, I thought we was about to get another Andrade Lemos thing where we were getting a standing choke. But, Holly, she was able to turn out of that. So I gave that round to Vieira. Third round, though, I give to Holm. She was going back to the leg kicks, landed a few good flurries. Vieira, to me, she was only landing singles the third round. Again, Holly back to that pressure on the cage. Vieira, she really wasn't able to adjust to the pressure and control Holly. Like her right hand, she wasn't able to control it, so Holly's still hitting her with the, with the free left hand. Yeah, the free left hand. And just not a lot of uppercuts from Vieira this round. Like, if she would have used the uppercuts more this round, she probably would have had more success. But Holm, she was measuring, landing push kicks. This was another round for her, even taking it back to the clinch. Just better clinch work there in the third round. Fourth round was the close one. First time I watched it, I gave it to Vieira. Second time, I gave it to Holly. Now, the striking at a range was a little bit more even because, like I said, Holm was landing flurries, but Vieira, she come back with stunning power shots. Vieira started to land more right hands upstairs here and down. She started landing a good right hand to the body. Holm, she was pushing a lot of her strikes, landing some flurries, but just kind of pushing, not really doing any damage. Her push kick was the most effective. She scored a knockdown, with that push kick. So I do kind of score that. Landed a good head kick. But Vieira, her timing was better. Her timing was a lot better. She was just landing some beautiful right hands in that first half. But I think the second half was ended with that knockdown at Holm. So I gave that round to Holm, too. And then just listening to the corner, I think Vieira's corner also gave Holly that round because they were screaming at her, man. They was like, you just trying to accept this loss? They were like, you're not doing anything about it. And what did he say? He was like, did you just come here for tourism? He was like, did you just come here for the tourism? Like, what are you doing? So I thought that was funny because they were going in. And that's how you're supposed to go in on your fighter. Like, if they just pushing, you got to wake them up. You got to wake them up in there. And, they did because fifth round, Vieira started going after. She's opening up with a head kick, landed a good head kick on Holly, spinning back fist. Holly, she was coming back, landing a lot of good strikes, landing some in the clinch. But I think the more effective strikes and the more impressive work was done by Vieira, going by the judge. Now, I thought Holly started to land more volume here, so I was giving the round to Holly. But I could see where Vieira took it with those more stinging blows. And I think even in the fourth, she hurt Holly Holm, right? The fourth round, she hurt Holly Holm with her right hand. She kind of stunned her. So Vieira was doing some nice work in here with her stinging shots, but she just has trouble really putting it together and being dominant. Like, she continues to go tit for tat, and that's what makes these fights close now, especially with the age in Holly Holm. I thought she should have been able to go in there 10 years younger and go in there and just put the pressure on Holly and land these strikes because Holly's throwing a lot of the same combinations. Like, let's be real. Like, I love Holly, but, she's throwing a lot of the same combinations, and that should be easy to time if you really have good counter skills. Like, Vieira did show some good counter skills later in the fight, but that should have been on her to pick up that rhythm early and start, tagging Holly with straight right hands down the pipe, right uppercut, or check left hooks when Holly steps in with the flurry. Because when she steps in with the flurry, not everything is landing. You come back with one stiff one and drop her, right? Because even Valentina Shevchenko, like, she got Holly's speed down. She had her speed time. She got that speed down, and she started landing some good shots on Holly, right? So there is kind of a blueprint there to beat Holly, if you have good timing. So that last round, I when it closed out, I said, I think Vieira got this one. I had to give her that last round. So I had it 3-2 for Holly, maybe even 4-1. But those rounds that I gave to Holly, some of those rounds I gave to Holly, I could have seen Vieira winning it with those significant strikes, and I could see where the judges gave it to her. So, not really a robbery in my opinion, because neither one ever really stepped out of the box to take away the tools of another fighter and just say it's time to dominate, right? There was too many back and forth moments, too close to call, and that's what I'm saying. When you come to those moments and it's going to be a split decision, usually a split decision is not a robbery like that. Usually it's not. In some cases it is, but not all the time. So moving forward from here, like I said, I'm not really disappointed here because I did, like I said the other day, I do kind of want to see Ketlen get her shot. I want to see some new blood in the bantamweight division kind of moving forward. Even though Ketlen Vieira is not the newest blood, let's see a different fighter get to the top that could probably, give either Nunes or Pena a challenge, right? We'll see, though. As for Holly, she still has that drive. She still wants to continue to fight. It's sometimes hard to, take away out of a person because if that's all they know, that's all they know. I mean, I personally don't want to see her fight anymore at these top level fighters or even get a title shot anytime soon, because there's still a lot of work for her to do. And even at 40, her 40 is different than the 41 of Sarah McMahon. I think Sarah McMahon still has some things that she could do, because I feel like she hasn't fully gave us everything. But Holly Holm, you know, she's been there, done that, you know, on a mental level. She's dealt with it time and time again. And it's only going to catch up with you sometimes. You know, it's only going to catch up, and sometimes it's not going to be pretty. So from here, the losses could get worse, right? So, yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys, what y'all thought of the fight. I didn't see it as a robbery. I thought Holly won, but it's not really something I'm going to argue about with anybody, because, yeah, Vieira, I think she could have won the fight on some scorecards on, you know, I can see her taking it. But let me know, guys, what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.